All right, today we are diving deep, literally, into one of the most baffling underwater mysteries out there, the Yonaguni Monument. So, what exactly is this thing, and who, or maybe what, could have possibly built it? Just imagine, hidden beneath the waves off the coast of this remote little island in Japan, there's a mystery. And I mean a big one that really challenges everything we thought we knew about our own ancient history. It's a structure so massive and so incredibly old, it makes you stop and ask some pretty wild questions.
So for decades now, this whole thing has sparked this massive debate. You've got people on one side saying it's a lost city, from some forgotten civilization, and then you have others who are just like, nope, it's just a bizarre trick of nature. But here's the thing. The answer, whatever it is, could literally rewrite the history books.
Okay, so let's get into it. A shocking underwater discovery. Where does a story like this even begin? Well, it all starts not in some dusty archive or a university lab, but on what was supposed to be a totally normal, routine dive. A dive that would end up uncovering something extraordinary. So picture this. It's 1987. We're off the coast of Yonaguni, which is the westernmost island in Japan. A local dive tour operator, a guy named Kihachiro Arateka, he's out scouting for new spots for his tours. And he stumbles onto something that by all accounts just should not have been there.
And he's only about 60 feet down, not even that deep really. And suddenly, he's face to face with this massive, sprawling stone complex. And let me be super clear here. We are not talking about a few scattered rocks that kind of look like something. Oh no, this was a colossal structure. We're talking platforms, steps, walls, all of it just perfectly preserved under the ocean.
You can imagine this discovery just sent absolute shockwaves through certain communities, right? Especially in the worlds of alternative history and archaeology. I mean, the narrator from Ancient Aliens Origins called it one of the greatest discoveries in the history of underwater archaeology. People immediately started saying this was a monumental find, something that could change our entire timeline of ancient civilization. Which brings us to the big debate: man-made or natural wonder? This is really the heart of the whole controversy. Was this thing actually carved by human hands, or is it just a spectacular but completely natural geological formation? Okay, so the people who are convinced this is man-made, they point to a whole list of features that, let's be honest, seem to defy nature. First, there's what looks like a massive 5-layered pyramid. Then you've got these stones with sharp geometric carvings and perfect right angles. There are even channels in what look for all the world like rectangular stairwells. And then there's the showstopper, a giant carved human face.
This is what author and researcher Graham Hancock had to say about it. He said, "This, to my eye, looks unmistakably to be the work of human beings, not the random action of the ocean." For him, when you look at all these features together, it just doesn't add up to random ocean currents. It screams intelligent design.
And it's really that precision that advocates keep coming back to. You've got commentators like David Wilcock who really zero in on the geometry. He says, you see unambiguous carvings that clearly are geometric in nature, tons of right angles. The argument is pretty simple. Nature just doesn't usually make stuff like this. And then we get to the most mind-blowing part, at least for me, this massive stone face. We're talking nearly 23 feet tall. People who've seen it say it resembles the famous Moai heads on Easter Island or maybe even the Sphinx in Egypt. The idea is that it might have been some kind of guardian for the whole complex. So look, the crucial point for those who believe this is man-made isn't just one weird-looking rock. It's the whole package. As Graham Hancock put it, it's the whole combination of all these structures together, which convinced me that we're looking at a ceremonial complex. You take the pyramid, the stairs, the face, put it all together, and it really starts to look like a large, intentionally built site. But, and this is a huge but, it's the timeline that takes this from just a cool mystery to a truly mind-bending paradox. Because if this thing is man-made, its age just throws a giant wrench in everything we know about human history. Okay, check this out. Geologists pretty much all agree on one thing. This structure, whatever it is, wasn't formed underwater. It had to have been on dry land at some point. So when was the last time this particular spot was above sea level? You have to go all the way back to the end of the last ice age. We're talking over 14,000 years ago. That's when the glaciers melted and the sea levels rose, submerging. And this is the central problem. On one hand, you have the Yonaguni Monument, a massive, engineered complex. On the other hand, what do we know about humans 14,000 years ago? Well, mainstream archaeology says they were Stone Age hunter-gatherers, living in caves. They just didn't have the technology, the social structure, or frankly, the vision to build something on this scale.
And that's a key point Graham Hancock makes. He says it's a question of the vision, of the scale of the complex. We know of no other Stone Age culture that thought in those kind of terms. It's not just about being able to chip away at a rock. It's about the idea, the massive, complex planning needed to design and build something like this. And that's something we just don't see anywhere else from that time period.
So, if Stone Age humans didn't build it, we're kind of stuck, right? We're left with this profound mystery. And for some people, the only answer that makes sense isn't from here at all. This is where we get into the extraterrestrial explanation. It really comes down to this question. If primitive humans couldn't have built this monument, then who did? This is the exact kind of question that lies at the very heart of the ancient astronaut theory. You have a technological marvel that seems to exist before humans had the tech to create it. And that opens the door to, well, some less conventional ideas. And that leads us to the most dramatic theory of them all. According to author William Burns, the speculation is that extraterrestrials created the Yonaguni Monument. The engineering is just beyond the capacity of Stone Age civilizations. Basically, the idea is that it wasn't built by humans at all, but by visitors from another world.
So, where does that leave us with Yonaguni? What's the real story? You know, mainstream geologists are still pretty convinced it's just a stunning but totally natural rock formation. But for so many others, those right angles, those stairs, that face, and that impossible timeline, it all points to something more. Is it a masterpiece from a lost civilization? The work of ancient visitors? Or is it just a fantastic trick of the light and the water? For now, the monument is keeping its secrets, leaving us all to wonder what else might be